Just injury updates. Buck's progressing well. I got treatment today. And then Downs and Matt Gay. We'll see how the week progresses with those two. So ready when you guys are.
Hey Shane, with Buck, he seemed like it looked pretty bad going off the field, and then he said he kind of felt okay. It sounds like it's a little better today.
Yeah, he's tough as nails, as you guys know. He's battled through stuff his whole career, so looking forward to him getting the treatment, and hopefully everything's good to go this week.
Nate,
Shane, yesterday you mentioned that you thought you could have maybe called some more run plays. As you watched it back, did you kind of have that same feeling? Do you wish there was maybe a little different game plan or a little bit more run?
Yeah, you look back at it. I think the biggest thing usually, we just pop run, which those will come. I got no concerns about that. But we were explosive in the pass game. Run game was pretty efficient. We just didn't pop the big ones, when you go back and look at it.
James,
Shane, when you went back and watched the game, what stood out to you about your run defense and maybe why it didn't look like what we're used to?
Just looking back at it, obviously we got to be better. Everyone's got to be better, and we will. I got a ton of faith in those guys. Give Houston credit. They had a good little scheme. They did some good things, yesterday, and but we get those cleaned up, and I got no concerns with those guys going forward.
we'll go to Bob.
Shane, in the years you've been around football, have you ever seen a throw like the one that Anthony made to Alec?
I have not. That was probably the best throw I've ever seen. Close one was probably Mahomes when I was at the Chargers in 20 to Tyreek Hill, but it was impressive. It was 65 yards, slipped at the top and just freaking launched that thing and hit Alex in stride. I mean, yeah, it was impressive as all get out for sure.
Steven,
Shane, two questions real quick. Did you have any thoughts or get any feedback about the field, all the slipping that we saw?
Yeah, I really didn't. I mean, the field's been good. It was really good in the first two preseason games
Hmm.
for us. I know it's the third time we've played on it. I know some guys were slipping around, Houston guys, but I got no concerns with the field. I really like the field. You know what I mean? We just got to get it broken in a little bit, but I like the playing surface for sure.
Okay. My other question was going to be, I know Anthony mentioned this, and I know you have too, that you guys really prioritized uh, getting more big plays offensively, coming into this season. Now, obviously, we talked about getting more consistency and the other stuff too,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what did you do to kind of maybe ensure that you guys got back to that and got more big plays? And how do you think that translated?
Well, it starts with Anthony. Obviously, he's got a huge arm that allows us to push the ball down the field, and then we got the speed on the outside to go get it. And I think when you're explosive like that in the pass game, instead of having those, 12, 13, 14 play drives, you get an opportunity to hit some big ones, 4 or 5 plays into it, and that's what allows you to be explosive. And if we can continue that explosiveness down the field, it's definitely going to help us going forward for sure.
Kevin,
Shane, after watching it again, what do you think of some of those hits Houston had on Anthony? Certainly above the shoulder.
Yeah, I think some of those I don't want to get into too much detail, but yeah, there was a few that were yeah, you guys know, you saw them. So yeah, we'll look at those and get those looked at for sure.
And is he good right hand? We saw him flexing it late in the game.
Yeah, yeah, he was great this morning. All good.
JJ,
Shane, with Anthony's ability to push the ball downfield like he has, when he does miss one, like the misconnection to AD, is there still like this certain level of confidence on the sideline, like we can go get that again, as opposed to maybe some other quarterbacks who it's like we had this play schemed up, it was perfect, and that was our one shot at going downfield, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think anyone loses confidence in those things. I mean, you're going to take your shots, you know what I mean? And when you got them, you try to hit them, obviously, but you're not going to hit every single one of them. So obviously, we got a ton of confidence in those things going forward, even if some of those are missed.
Chap,
Yeah, Coach. Hopefully, I got on late. Hopefully, you didn't address this already. But you talk at the chunk plays, which are just so invaluable to have. Yet the third and sixes, you don't want the long drives all the time. But is there a balance where you've got to be able to stay on the field and convert those and get some rhythm going?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, those third downs, 3rd and 4 to 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you got to get some rhythm going there for sure. And obviously, you don't want to be in those 3rd and long situations. I believe we had 10 third downs yesterday. We were 5 of 10. A couple of those were short yardage plays. But 50% third down, pretty good. Obviously, would love to be higher, but that's pretty good around the league. But yeah, you got to convert those things to keep the momentum and those drives going for sure.
And wouldn't you anticipate that coming with more experience with the quarterback, the long range?
Yeah,
You're gonna get better at that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, more you play, the more you see, the more experience you're going to have. So, I'm excited for this football team moving forward, and Anthony and everybody.
One last thing on Anthony. It was asked earlier about the hits, and it's you're not going to say probably what is on your mind. Are you concerned that they look at this guy, he's 6'5", 250, they say, yeah, he could take it? You can't have that approach as an official, can you?
No, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to get into it, but all those deals, when there's hits like that, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. You know what I mean? Those things, some of those things gotta, yeah, yep,
Appreciate it.
yeah.
Just a couple more. Nate?
And Shane, I understand that every game plan is going to be different. Just generally, how involved would you like this tight end group to be in the passing game? And is it alarming when they have a game with 0 catches, or is some games just going to go that way?
Yeah, some will go that way. We always have stuff up for them week in and week out. I know I've told you guys this before, but we're trying to get everyone the football and everyone involved, and sometimes it goes that way. And shoot, next week it might be different. And what we see on tape and what we could take advantage of, we try to go from there.
And last two, we'll go James and then George. Thanks.
And to follow up on the throws to AD Mitchell that AR had, is it just him missing, or is it more to it with like timing and stuff like that? Like, I don't want to just put all this on him.
Yeah, no doubt. I think with anything, you got AD first year player and working on that timing and going through that and getting the practice reps over and over. We got it in the spring, we got it in training camp, and I think that'll start to gel as the season continues to roll.
And then I guess to follow up, do you look at that and put it more on one player or the other, or I guess how does that work?
I don't blame it on anyone. I mean, it's a missed op, and it's just how it is sometimes. You know what I mean?
Last one, George.
Shane, you kind of touched on this a little bit yesterday, but that you mentioned that the last touchdown run by AR, that's kind of a gotta have it moment. What do you think of his decision making overall? We talked a lot in the offseason about him knowing when to kind of push it and when to be
Yeah,
safe.
that was it. We knew it was a got to have it. That was communicated into him in the headset. Like, hey, we got to get it no matter what here. Obviously had a lot of faith in those guys in that situation. We felt that, hey, there's, let's try to score before the 2-minute warning. If this thing gets down in there, inside the 5, let's go ahead and go for it. So if we get the touchdown there, obviously we get the stop, we get a chance to kick a field goal right there instead of, kicking a field goal. Obviously, I know if we don't get it, obviously we're down 9, but had a lot of faith in those guys in that situation. So if we did get the stop, all we needed was a field goal if they punted it back to us there, instead of going, 60 or 70 for a touchdown.
Great. Thanks so much, Coach. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See you Wednesday.